Todd and Erin morning stream here at GutBarDaily.com. Todd, we're on. Really? Is that kind of like your action news entrance?
Try some today. No. What are we doing?
We've talked before about your product placement. We're going to the Brio.
We do it for no apparent reason whatsoever.
We're going to the Morning Mountain Comp.
All right, let's do it.
Brio Technologies, your experts in lighting, sound, and video. As a matter of fact, they can take your business to, making them look like they're in this century now. It's pretty cool. You can go to brioaudiovisual.com. Look, it's starting to get lighter earlier.
Look at that.
It's like we're not going to be moles
Let's
anymore.
go home right now. And
Just
enjoy
so we can enjoy it, yeah.
Tony Abbott's coming in. He's the outdoor
Oh,
crazy
I love
dude.
Tony.
He's going to talk
Good,
about
we can ask him about that one controversy.
the bighorn sheep.
Yeah, because
It
I've
just
always
happened.
wondered about that.
Yeah, he's going to help us out with that. We're also going to find out
Sundance Skippy is up, at Sundance.
our Skippy.
And we adore him. He proudly bills himself as the 39-year-old version. Virgin.
And it's probably true.
I just like to call him our excitable ginger. But he has a way of like running into celebrities in a way that they end up sort of like really liking him instead of getting that pissy expression on their face. So he gets great videos and great pictures.
So a lot of these celebrities that are in town, we're going to show you a bunch of them and some video on that as well. And which state is got the worst and the best education in the country? But let's start off with Skippy, shall we?
Oh, he's so adorable. Okay, Sundance Film Festival is one of my favorite times because it's when all the pibs come in, all the people in black from Hollywood. Mm-hmm. And this year we've had some epic freaking people. I mean, epic. This is probably wasted on you, but my personal favorite thus far has been Idris Elba. I should say that in a tone that's probably lower than a B level. No, Idris Elba. If you love him, he was there and he was talking about it was time for like a female or an African or a black Bond. Isn't he? And he's so sweet. Look at his face. He's the nicest man.
And that's Skippy on the left.
And you see he's like giddy with excitement. I'm worried he's going to ask if he can kiss Idris, but I'm hoping he won't. Okay, next one. He also ran into, I think this next picture, Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker.
Isn't he wonderful? He's a Sundance regular, and he's unfailingly nice. You can see his angry handler in between them, like she's going to physically block Skippy.
You know what's awesome about the selfie thing is you don't actually have to have a one-on-one situation with people now.
You can be close-ish.
You can be close-ish and still get a selfie.
I know, it's really delightful.
All right, who else do we have?
Okay, he had Ewan McGregor, and this is where my social... I don't know this guy. This is out of order. Who is it?
I do.
Who is it?
Oh, he's a stand-up. He's
Facebook experts. Who is this guy?
Yeah, who is that?
Is it Joel McHale?
Yes.
Is it? Okay, Joel McHale. Now we know. Good.
All right. And there's Skippy at the bottom right.
Once again, and here's the next one I don't know. Facebook experts, any idea?
Who
is it?
That's Tony It is.
Tony who?
Robbins.
Yes.
Yeah, it is, right?
Susan Sarandon.
Man, you're good at this stuff.
You're good.
I would never, ever have thought
he kind of bleached out.
What happened to Bull Durham? Who's this guy? Right?
It's called age.
That's a lot. I would not have recognized him.
No.
And then, of course, there's Ewan McGregor, who is adorable. Although I'm glad I wasn't up there because I have the social Tourette's where I would have blurted, "Hey, why did you thank your wife and your girlfriend in the same Golden Globes acceptance speech?" So I'm really relieved it was not me and it was actually Skippy there with him.
Right.
But he was an absolute sweetheart, signed and autographed. Very, very nice. So, I mean, we've had some really good ones so far. But one of my favorite things is his videos. Now, he doesn't do a video ambush. It's more like an anxious trotting.
Check this out. Who is it? Nicolas Cage.
I got a fun question for you. Which of your characters from Face Off?
He's getting too close. I'm afraid of him.
I am too.
Or your The Rock?
It's like he really means it.
Yeah, because he
signing.
Yeah, the autographs are. Thank you, Mr. Cage. Thank you. I love Skippy so very much.
It's so great.
Watching Nicolas Cage's interview this year, though, from Sundance, he's always been in that realm of crazy ever since Wild Things, but he just gets ratchets up the crazy a little bit more every year. We talked yesterday about how he blew that $150 million.
No, $150 million in 7 years.
Sorry, million.
He owned 15 houses
with the shrunken pygmy heads and stuff. But
albino cobra.
The interview this year, and Bob Redford actually interviewed him once, and
Bob.
We call him Bob up at Sundance. Don't you know
How
that?
well do you know Mr. Redford?
We don't call him Robert Redford.
We call him Bob?
We call him Bob. Don't you remember having dinner down at Sundance when they took us down there and they were
Yeah.
like showing us a good time?
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, what do you
Ooh,
like?
yeah.
What do you like on the menu?" And he goes, "Well, Bob prefers the filet."
They did
And I'm
say
like,
that,
I'm
didn't
like,
they?
Who does? And he goes, "Bob prefers the
And I
filet."
said, "Is this
What
Bob-
else does he like? Well, Bob prefers this wine.
Boxers, not briefs.
I mean, it's yeah. So only a rube would call him Robert.
Do we? What are you?
We have another
saying?
video we're going to show you at the end of the show today. And
You want to do that there?
This
Okay.
one was awesome. You're going
All
to
right.
like him a lot.
All right, so we should talk about the snow is going to kill everyone on the East Coast.
More or less, they're just about to have another.
Oh, it's just that story that you gave me.
There's a massive snowstorm coming
Right.
up, and as a matter of fact, they've been rescuing all the turtles down in Florida because when it gets to a certain point, like 40 degrees, they lose their ability to.
They're floating.
Yeah, everything shuts down. They're all
They're
sluggish.
floating, yeah.
So they've been like picking them up out of the surf and sticking them in laundry baskets and then taking them out to get warm. It's really
Put
sad.
them in school hallways and stuff
They
like
showed
that.
this one lady. She had her blow dryer out. She was trying to warm them up with her blow dryer. It
They're
was so
green
sweet.
turtles, the most of them. It's sad.
But in the upper, Northeast, you guys were more used to having heavy duty snow.
I have a
so
question for you.
They were not as permissive about you getting snow days.
Right. So, and even back then when I was growing up, you had to make up the day at the end of the season.
There was a certain set amount of days you had to be in school. Yeah.
So how did you find out when there was a snow day? You right here or right here?
They had automated phone calls, I think, as I remember.
No, they didn't. They barely had phones.
Look, I'm sorry, old guy who's much older than me, but we had automatic phone systems
They would
when I was in
pull
school.
the string really tight and go, "There's no school today."
But there was also the phone tree.
You had a phone tree.
Don't you remember PT? Don't you remember
We
the
had
PTA?
a phone tree.
And there was a phone tree.
Yeah. And so it's like, screw sleeping in. Get out of your bed and start calling people. My dad was a teacher, and on snow days, I remember
I'm guessing he heard first then.
Yeah, they were. So we were up and brushing our teeth, going, "Oh, well, go!" And all of a sudden, you hear the phone ring, and the phone never run in the morning at 7:00 ever.
Never.
And I remember holding my breath and just going, "Please, please, please," and then you hear it hang up. Pause. Dad's walking over to the bottom of the stairs. He goes, Say it. No school today.
Yes.
Woo! And as a child would, I jump into my snowsuit and go outside.
Yeah, and then you go over to the snow, and then you'd sled down the hill by the school. So see, it worked out great for everybody.
Some people think that there hasn't been enough snow days.
Well, this is funny because, so once again, up in the Northeast, they haven't been doing as many snow days, and the kids have been like, but it's here, it's 27 feet. It's like, so
Missouri.
these kids decide,
Not
I thought it was in the Northeast.
not known for its snowstorms. But
No, not really.
They had the cold snap, and so being left out of the whole snow day celebrations across the country, the north part of the country, they wanted to get a snow day in Missouri. So
These kids knew what to do.
So what they did is they found the superintendent. First year, they dropped off in a box on his doorstep Hershey bars.
Who's going to say no to chocolate?
Ben,
Do you see this?
wait.
Do you see the note?
Yes,
You know what to do,
Do the
Mr.
right-
Superintendent.
do the right thing. So here's the funny thing. First year they gave him Hershey bars. He said, it's really not my favorite. They researched it for this year. Reese's.
They were ready.
So they stayed on him. Yeah, and so far...
That's hysterical. Don't be a nerd. That's hysterical. Snow day. I just like those.
It didn't work.
I like the small curt note though. You know what to do.
You know what to do. You're like, that's a little freaky,
I like these kids. I think they're very
So
funny.
anyway, I thought that was awesome.
Well,
This,
Super Bowl tickets.
amazing. This is an amazing story, even if you don't like sports.
Okay, first of all, we have to show a picture of a Minnesota Viking.
All right, go ahead.
Because
Joe.
this is the saddest face I have ever seen.
Oh.
This is the face of a man who just realized that his hopes and dreams have been crushed
Just want to hug him, don't
for
you?
yet another year.
All right, so here's the deal.
Looking up at the scoreboard going, all of my dreams are gone. I have nothing left to live for.
Right, all my training, my entire life.
Here's the problem.
May I?
Yeah, Super Bowl's being held in.
This would be the first time in the history of the Super Bowl that a team, the Vikings, if
Minnesota
they had
Vikings.
won, they would be playing in their home stadium. Now, what this means is all the fans already have tickets.
And they were waiting, just like, this is so good.
And they have first shot at tickets for the Super Bowl. I'm not exactly sure on that, but they have a bunch of fans. It's at their stadium.
It would have been like a dream come true. Can you
As
imagine?
opposed to a neutral place,
Yeah,
which
like
is
it's-
what they've done forever.
How did they end up doing that anyway?
So
Okay.
the Vikings playing against the Seahawks, right? And the Vikings score 7 points. Online, the scalp tickets went through the roof. Went to about 5,800. 5,800, okay? Then the Seahawks scored. Price stayed the same. So this price is following.
This is like the stock market. This is great.
It
This
really is.
This is like NFL Nasdaq.
Right,
Okay, go on.
Right. So at that point, if you were playing the stocks and you were a
Mm-hmm.
Vikings person and you had the tickets, you would sell them right then because that would make sense because the Seahawks scored and then it stayed the same and then they scored again and then they started dropping. The price of the tickets started dropping. The high was 5,900. It ended up at like 32
That's so funny. It is. It's Nasdaq.
because no one can win. No one can go see their team and they're losers and they don't. You know what?
Well, wait a minute.
Buck
The
up.
Vikings were playing. They were playing Philadelphia, right?
Yeah. What I say,
You said-
Seahawks.
I
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
I'm an
wait,
idiot.
Where are the Seattle guys? come in?
$1,000 cheaper. The seats are just and it's not done yet.
So now there's availability. They're like, yeah, come on, get them.
Right.
That's good.
Because who doesn't have $3,800 to go see a Super Bowl?
I don't know how many.
Right?
Let's
Let's
think
get
about.
all 6 of them. And
Let's think
go.
about how many men we know who literally would sell their kidney for these. Because I can count 5 just in the building. Seriously.
Daisy would go.
Well, that's because she's awesome.
Her
She'd do
friend, she'd
anything.
go with her friend who's a big fan.
That's just so sad though, because it's just
Sorry, I said
it's like the town's heartbreak.
Seahawks. Sorry about that, Eagles fans.
It's the town's heartbreak. I mean, it really it's
really is.
very, very sad. Okay, so
I'm not allowed to do sports stories anymore.
maybe we should just go to Daisy. She's in the Gephardt Daily
Yes.
newsroom. She is brought to you by Always Black Friday. They are 30 to 75% off every day. They're up on 12th Street in Ogden. Also by Denali Performance Medical Center. This is a great place to go to get rid of your migraines for good. And they can also take care of all those joint problems and without opioids. And All Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. It's a great time to make sure that your system is working well for winter or swap something out because they've got some great prices. Daisy, my darling, what is going on today?
Good morning, everyone. Here's what's making news on Wednesday, January 24th on GephartDaily.com. Police have arrested 2 people they say obstructed justice in the search for Justin Gary Llewellyn, the 33-year-old Riverton man accused of opening fire on unified police officers last weekend. He's also accused of shooting a Riverton resident before stealing the family's car. Tasha and Misty Llewellyn were taken into custody Tuesday after police swooped down on a Harriman home hoping to find their suspect. Police say the 2 women gave false information to investigators over the weekend. Detective Greg Wilking of the Salt Lake City PD says anyone found to have harbored Llewellyn is likely to face charges. 2 men were hospitalized after a shootout on the streets of Payson late Monday night. Payson Police Chief Brad Bishop said the incident happened at about 10:30 p.m. when police were alerted to a shooting in progress. Bishop said the 2 men had exchanged 10 to 15 rounds by the time the shooting stopped. The 2 were taken to hospital in Payson with serious injuries, but are expected to survive. One of the men's wives was also slightly wounded. Police have yet to divulge the circumstances leading up to the shooting. And officials are looking for 2 men who robbed the One Stop Smoke Shop at 1427 South 300 West on Tuesday night. The 2 suspects entered the store at about 7 p.m. One man had a gun and the other had a knife. Police say they stole cash and cigarettes before fleeing on foot. No one was injured in this aggravated robbery. Anyone who had any information about the incident is asked to call SLCPD at 801-799-3000. And time now for your Wasatch Front forecast, brought to you by Brio Technologies, Utah's top audiovisual specialists. Well, after a day or 2 of relatively sunny skies, we're looking at another round of winter weather. A new storm moves across the state Thursday morning. Snow showers are expected to last into Friday, with the heaviest accumulations at the higher elevations. Daytime temps will be in the low 40s and upper 30s, and our overnight lows will be in the 20s and 30s. That's it for now. For more news and weather 24/7, go to GephartDaily.com. Todd and Erin, back back to you.
Uh-huh.
All right, thank you, Daisy. This
Busted.
is
Mary
this-
Ann said Daisy was playing with her phone when they went to her.
Ha! All right, I got to tell you about all Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. They got a special going on right now, and what a great time to do it. Your furnace, you have an old furnace, you have an antique in your basement, you want more efficiency, you get a furnace and your AC unit. You need them both because they work together. And if you buy that package, they're going to save you, what is it, $2,000 right off the top. Plus, you're going to get a free air scrubber. That's worth a bunch more. It basically works out to like $3,200 of savings, which means it's like you're getting your furnace for free. Get more information, give them a call, or go to the website, allutahplumbing.com.
All right, Tell Me Something Good is brought to you by Always Black Friday. We told you about Always Black Friday. They're up on 12th Street in Ogden. Ridiculously good prices. I went shopping there, and there were drones and like Beats by Dre headphones and all this stuff for just amazingly low prices. Definitely worth running through. But this woman wrote this letter to the paper, and it's called Miracle on 85th Street. But it was such a bizarre and amazing coincidence that it just killed me. She says, I was a young mother living with my husband and my little boy, who's 2, in New York City. And when you live in New York City, since you can't go out in the backyard, you take the baby stroller and the juice and the wipes, and you load up the stroller, and then you ride down the elevator from your high-rise apartment, and then you
Right.
stagger to the street pushing your stroller.
I'm exhausted already.
And then you make your way to the park. She says, traditionally, I go to Central Park. That's where you'll see all the other mothers, and you form your little groups, and you get to know each other, and that's how you make connections.
So gangs start.
Because, it's not as easy to meet other young parents in New York City.
That's true.
So that's kind of their place. She said, one day I decided to change my routine, so I went to the Erin near the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And it was a perfect sunny, warm day, and I found a perfect place where there are people and dogs playing, and it looked really nice. And it was on the side of the museum where, if you've ever been in New York City, there's a grassy hill that leads down fairly steep to 85th Street. So it was very interesting. I was checking everything out. I'll never know exactly what happened. Did I look away for a moment after I unbuckled his seatbelt?
What?
Did my son John
No.
materialize elsewhere? Because every one of us has had that heart-stopping moment where your toddler wasn't where he was supposed to be, and your eye might have blinked for half a second.
What happened?
But what she found is, after frantically looking around, John was running down the steep hill. This is her little toddler. So she's running after him, screaming her lungs out. Other people see it. They're starting to run as well, because 85th is a nightmare. It's thousands of buses and cabs and cars, and everything's going 90 miles an hour, and there's no stopping anything. And at this place,
So he must be getting pretty close to the road.
yeah, this kid's got momentum.
Okay.
They're screwed. No one's
Okay.
going to catch up to him. She said, I remember how desperate I felt, and I just couldn't run fast enough. It was like a nightmare. And then out of nowhere, as John hit the sidewalk, a huge golden retriever with his leash flapping
Yeah.
shot past her,
Yeah.
placed himself right in front of John, and
Get-
John slammed into him.
Get out.
The toddler slammed into him rather than going into the street. Now, obviously the boy's crying, and
Yeah.
she finally gets there, and this dog's licking his face, and
Oh.
and the owner of the dog comes racing up too, and he says, I don't understand this. He says, I'm training him to be like a service dog, a C9
Right,
dog.
right.
He says, he's perfectly behaved. He would never, ever pull on a leash, much less rip it out of my
So he
hand.
saw something.
And so this
Yeah.
dog went completely against character. He saw the toddler, and he went completely against character, ripped the leash out of his owner's hands,
And went and got the kid.
and got in front of the kid before anyone else could.
Wow.
So that is the story of the service dog that saved a life before it ever
Wow.
became a service dog.
It wasn't even trained yet.
No, it was trained. That was the point.
Oh
He
my
was about
gosh.
ready to go out.
That's graduation. That's what that is.
He never would have done that. That's what makes it so cool.
Take your little doggy graduation hat, throw it in the air.
Yeah, screw that. He gets all the little extra stickers
Right.
on his certificate.
He did the valedictorian thing.
The reason I wanted this story is just because I just remember that heart-stopping. And you and I both have been there, because McLean, our son, he was like the dark master of escape. There was nothing that kid could not get through.
Okay, so he's nonverbal.
And so we've all had those days where
Wait,
you just...
I want to tell him about the fair. So, McLean is nonverbal and has autism, right? Along with his brother's twin. And we're at the fair, and we take all the nieces with us. The nieces were like 15. So we're in a group.
And
we've
everyone's
got-
trained to know what this kid can do.
Yeah,
He's like
we're all
an eel.
like, yeah, we're
you know?
okay. And in the matter of 20 minutes, McLean escaped 5 times. And I was to the point of saying, okay, you're watching him. You're watching him. Keep your eye on, where's McLean? I finally went home, remember?
Oh, no, the stress was too much,
I
I
said,
know.
we're all going home. We're all going home.
I can't take it anymore. Well, everyone got a funnel cake, so they were fine with
Well,
it.
he kept going towards the food. That was the only safety issue we had.
At least we knew what direction he might be heading.
Yes.
But no, everyone's been through that moment where no matter how carefully you're
Oh,
looking
geez
after your
Louise.
toddler, you're screwed. I
Yeah.
mean, and everyone's had that moment where,
What do you do? What do you do? What do you
yeah,
do?
you feel
What
like
do
your
you do?
stomach just got ripped out of your chest
Right.
because you can't find your toddler.
We should thank you. We're going to thank you at this point, and we're doing this little giveaway with Christopher's Steakhouse.
It's actually not a little giveaway. It's dinner for
It
four
is,
at
it
Christopher's
is.
Prime Steakhouse.
But by saying it, minimalizing it, it actually sounds bigger.
Okay.
This little thing we do, see how that works? The little thing. Send you out to a great steak dinner.
I was just doing my negligent wave to support your theory.
That little thing?
The
Yeah.
negligent wave.
So all you have to do if you want to take 3 of your best friends and go down and have a wonderful dinner is just go ahead and drop a comment.
It's embarrassingly simple. Just on any one of our Facebook pages under the show today, Get Part Daily, Get Part Approved, or if you're part of the community here on the Todd and Erin page, just drop a comment there. Life is good.
All right.
That's all you need.
All right, so coming up we have Tony Abbott. Tony Abbott, outdoor dude.
Oh, I want to ask him about this bighorn sheep thing because I didn't even know we had bighorn sheep in Utah.
Yeah, right. While we sit at home worried about our bunions, he's climbing mountains in China. We're going to find out.
It's very unfair.
It's coming up next.
The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by UtahCreditApproval.com. Bad things happen to good people, but you can get your credit back on track and get a reliable automobile by giving them a call. 801-404-7201. And also by Columbus Travel with spectacular deals on cruises and all-inclusive vacations. Go to ColumbusVacations.com. And all Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air, where they have a winter special that they can check out your furnace and make sure that it's operating efficiently, saving you hundreds of dollars in energy bills. Just go to allutahplumbing.com. Did you know that you can catch the Todd and Erin Morning Stream on Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, and GetPartDaily.com any time of the day or night?
At Always Black Friday, we love a good deal. We buy new and used products at a discount so we can pass on the savings to you. And we're Get Part approved. From electronics to clothing to appliances. If you want it, we have it at discount prices. Visit our eBay store or come to our warehouse at 865 West 12th Street in Ogden. Always Black Friday, where you can find Black Friday deals all year round.
Happy Black Friday!
Products.
Hi, everybody. We're back with Tony
Oh,
Abbott,
hey,
outdoor dude. Let's.
I think we're supposed to call him Tony Treebeard Abbott now, aren't we?
Whoa!
And
Look
this,
at that.
too. It's-
Oh, for
yeah.
Police Business, Credibize.
See?
Just, Valdez Outfitters.
It's super subtle. No one would
Todd
know.
and Erin.
I got Klein under. Never mind. Okay.
Let's
You
not
wear
do that.
underwear?
Yeah. No, not today.
Okay, moving on because you're both creeping me out. Okay, you're the adventure guy because if there's anything exotic we want to know about, you've likely been there already. So you're the guy. But this one's actually here in Utah. I didn't even know we had bighorn sheep. I'm a little embarrassed.
Oh,
yeah.
desert.
You guys
Really?
touched on this, didn't you?
No,
Yeah, well, we
explain
are
what
right now.
happened.
Yeah, this is.
So the go ahead.
Yeah, explain it.
Well, so what it is desert bighorn sheep are one of the most coveted animals in the West to hunt. There's not a lot of them to hunt. Now, it's a good population, but they limit the amount of people that can hunt them,
Because
right?
you want to manage a population and make
Yeah.
sure that you're not endangering it by. Okay, yeah.
One of the best units in the state is the Zions unit down in southern Utah. Well, every year you put in for these permits, if you don't draw, you get a bonus point, which means the next
You're a
year...
loser.
You're a loser.
But you
Yeah.
get another point.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the next year you have your name in the hat technically 2 times.
Right.
Okay.
And 3 times and 4 times. Anyway, there's a
Get a better
pretty
chance.
prominent guide out of Arizona. He's got
Right.
a hunting business, and he had put in for 21 years. So he had 21 bonus points.
Oh,
he
wow.
hadn't won.
And he hadn't drawn yet.
Oh.
Now, keep in mind, there's only a handful of non-resident permits,
Right.
and there's more resident permits.
That
It's
seems
about
fair.
a 90-10 split. Well, he decided, he knew the system.
Right.
He went, rented a house in Kanab, claimed residency for the 6 months that you
Oh,
needed to
that's so
be,
easily.
and he knew he was guaranteed to draw the tag because half the permits
Right.
go to the people with the max points. He was the last guy with 21 points.
Yeah.
Well, he drew it. He killed his animal. Well, long story short,
Right.
they found out. They prosecuted him. They
Right.
found him. Look, this is the only reason you did it. So, poaching's a strong word. It is what
It
he
is.
did.
It is.
He broke the law. He took a sheep from someone that wouldn't.
Right.
As far as that goes, He had a tag, but
Right.
he obtained the tag illegally. He
Yeah.
obtained a resident permit. He was technically a non-resident. Well, they dropped the hammer on him.
They
30
did.
grand.
30 grand.
$30,000 for
30
fine?
grand.
But that's not the
Wow.
worst.
He's lost his hunting privileges for 10 years. Not just in this state, but in 47 states.
Oh, so for participating states, if they know
Right.
that he's got a ding, they won't let him
Right.
come in either.
And there's a whole big channel for that. So I think it's like Delaware, Massachusetts, and
Yeah.
there's one other.
All
Yeah.
the fun places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That they Vermont or something. Oh, Hawaii. That's it. Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He can hunt in Hawaii still. And so, it's sad because the guy went and took something he shouldn't have taken.
You shouldn't have
You
done
know what I
it.
mean?
Yeah.
Is that hard for you as a guide? Because I know how scrupulously you have to follow the rules, and you figure out whatever country you're going to. You go through a lot of research. Does it drive you crazy as a guide that when people pull this crap, because it makes everybody look bad?
They cheat the system, and you know what? Maybe the system's not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm not here to argue anything that way. I'm here to say there's a plan in place.
Right.
There's rules. There's regulations. He
Right.
knew them. It would be the equivalent
Yeah.
of me going to Arizona
Yeah.
and doing the same thing.
I live here now.
It's
Yeah,
just like
no.
Tom Brady.
The ball was too heavy with all that air in it.
So he lets
Boom.
Okay.
Anyway,
they're
No,
still
Todd's from Boston.
they're
We
still
still
my
have-
team.
We
But-
still have to support
yeah,
them.
Pats fan?
Yeah,
they're probably
he did
gonna win
it.
again.
Yeah, he
They're
did
probably
it.
gonna win again.
As they should.
What was it? Wildlife management. Studied wildlife management.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and for
Very
everybody
good.
worrying about like the sheep and stuff, they manage the population and they really keep eyes on it and stuff.
Absolutely.
And they did in Maine too. And the big problem in Maine with poaching, it is the worst thing is the guys are out there just shooting deer and leaving them.
And letting them lay. See, now that's even a step farther. Listen, the guy broke the law that he did this,
Yeah.
but he retrieved the
Right.
sheep. He did all those things. Had he left the meat and game, it would have been even worse.
Oh yeah.
Because it's such a waste.
It is a waste.
And now the guy, he's a prominent guide. People are going to get out there. Why are you going to guide with this guy now? It's
Yeah.
like, really, do I want to be with him?
Right.
I mean, he did it to himself.
Right.
There's no mercy. So anyway, it's
There's reasons for rules.
Yeah.
there is.
I
And we
know.
don't all like them.
I understand what you're saying.
It is
Yeah.
interesting though. We had a comment on Facebook last week when you were in here because we've been talking about the outdoor show and that there's a few spaces left for vendors because
You
you're going
bet.
to have like 15,000 people coming through.
You bet.
And a lot of people were like, they were admitting, I have no idea what a guide is. I have no idea what Tony actually does, although it sounds cool.
My wife
And I
doesn't
was-
either.
He's gone.
Do you know what he does?
I'm never sure because then you'd have to ask me what I do and we'd really be in trouble.
Really? Under
So,
the bus like that?
You're on that side today.
Well,
You're
that's
not
right.
next. You can't hit me
That's
that
right.
easily.
That's right.
The arm reach is not as long. But
Yeah.
but this is one of the fun things about the outdoor show because it's really meant for people who you want to do something more with your life. That you want to try something new.
Expo.
Okay, outdoor.
The
expo.
big outdoor.
That's
no,
right.
Erin, you're exactly right. Most people don't even know where to start on things.
Yeah, it's
You
out
know,
of your
it's just
comfort
like,
zone, and you don't want to
do I
look
want
dumb.
to fish? Well, what do? Buy a fishing license and get me a pole from Walmart?
Right.
I want to go on a nice hike. Where's a good place to
Right.
go?
Whitewater rafting.
I want a whitewater raft. You're
With who?
exactly right.
With who?
Yeah, and where? And
Right.
what time of the season?
Right.
Do I want a category 5 or do I want a category 1? I mean,
And
What
for
are
a lot of-
categories? You could have lots of different questions.
Well, as a mom, my biggest anxiety is where am I going to take my children where I won't actually get them killed? So because then you go into the anxiety of where's a family thing
Too
versus
much.
a fun adult thing. There's a big difference on where you take your kids and
That's
what you
the
do.
best thing Erin and Todd about my show. But you can check it out at thebigoutdoors.com.
Right.
You can get on there. It shows you the dates. It's March 9th and 10th this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we're pushing vendors right now. We want to get some more vendors there.
How many do you have now? Just give people an idea.
It grows every day.
Like 70?
Several every day.
At this
That's
point,
crazy.
you're going to
As
have to be
far
on
as
the
that
show every day wearing every product placement you
Right.
can. We're going to have to start wearing the hats.
Am I
Everyone's
vague?
going to have to wear the hats.
We could all wear camouflage and disappear.
I'll wear Todd and Erin. I'll do it today.
We should have a hat.
We don't have hats.
But-
I want a hat.
So, yes, it's about the boost now,
Right.
but hey, I'll tell you what, I think you guys are letting me come back Friday. I may have some really big news about some
Okay.
entertainment that's going to be
All
in
right.
the show as well. What I like is I like to take care of my vendors come, they have this great experience. There's 15,000 people that walk through and see the product.
Right.
And then at the end, I like to have some sort of reward.
Okay.
Some sort of concert or some sort
that's
of
so nice.
entertainment.
Sure,
sure.
And you know what? I'm trying to finalize that today.
Right.
You'll get breaking news.
And a lot of
This is very exciting.
a lot of the stuff that your vendors do, and I really love this fact, is let's say you're going to go rafting, right? Not only do they have packages for rafting, they also say this is where you can stay. This is where so
Absolutely.
you could just like pack the car and go. And they have places to stay, where to eat, and all that stuff.
Todd,
so it's easy.
Yes, it's
easier.
one stop.
Right.
In other words, you want to do it.
Right.
It's the first time you guys wanted to do it.
Right.
Hey, I got a family of 5.
Right.
This is my dates. This is my budget. Oh, here you go. Show up and have a great time.
We
You know,
went
one
to-
thing that would be fun is seeing more vendors that are related to kids, because that's one of the things with a lot of outdoor expos that I'll drag the kids in, like, there's no board. So I mean, I'm kind of hoping you'll see more of those kind of vendors.
So I had a
because-
phone call
yeah.
last night from a gentleman. I don't have his son's business name yet because he called me to fill out about the show. So he has a son that's about 12. Started his own business. He makes fishing lures.
That's so cool.
This is a
He's
12-year-old
12.
kid, makes fishing lures. They are coming to the show this year. So
Oh,
we're
fun.
finalizing that today because I want to
Yeah.
give him a reasonable price. I mean,
Right.
here's a kid. And, I mean, this isn't about me getting rich. This is about putting an opportunity. And when a kid calls me or a
Right.
lady, anyone calls me and says, hey, I've got an opportunity.
That's funny.
This is what I've done. So he makes fishing lures. So we're
right.
going to have him there, and he's going to be in the center, and he's going to have his own business.
You always cave like a cheap souffle when it comes to kids, don't you?
But I am not
I mean,
cheap.
I love it.
I may be easy.
Better write that down someplace.
Stop that.
Well, anyway, thank you so much for being here. We're going to keep up to what?
And once again, where do they reach you? If they want to be a vendor?
TheBigOutdoors.com. Get on the website. Email it. Comes right to me. My
I'm
phone
excited.
number's on there as well. You guys are going to be there.
That's gonna be fun.
The dates?
The dates are March 9th and 10th.
10th, right.
So, for you guys, we might have to have a whole big move in. You guys are like big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Do you have
gigantic.
bodyguards and stuff? Do you
Sure we
bring
do,
this
yeah.
stuff?
Our
A lot of that
stalkers
stuff.
wear pantsuits and drive minivans.
One piece?
Yeah.
Well, no, seriously, we still do have stalkers, but they're
Do
all
you
like
really?
postmenopausal. I'm not lying to you.
And they bring us casseroles.
No,
Whoa.
that's the nice ones.
Oh, okay.
It's the ones that show up at our house that are less
All right,
fun.
man.
There's none better than you guys.
All
Seriously.
right.
Good to see you guys. Young lady,
Thank you,
always
darling.
my pleasure. Mwah.
Thank you so
We'll
much.
see you guys in a couple days.
All right, we'll be back.
Awesome.
Tony's fun, isn't he?
I know, I like him a lot. It's going to be a fun show.
Uh,
It's the Todd and Erin morning stream. We're back. Good morning. How is everybody on
turn this
Facebook?
way.
Don't do the eyelash thing again.
I'm not. I'm looking at your bangs. They are kind of askew.
My bangs are
This
askew.
right here. May I?
Yes, of course.
Give me your brush.
You're really going to brush my bangs on the show.
Someone needs help. Someone's got to help. That wasn't good. That's not going to happen. You just leave it like that. So anyway,
It looks worse now, doesn't it?
let me see. No, it looks wild. Okay, so the man getting out of a sobriety test on the side of the road, and
Now
you've got the story,
I don't have this story.
and he's
I
got
don't
a new
believe so.
thing. Keep looking. He's got a new way to avoid getting a DUI.
Now, see, one of my personal favorite things about anyone who thinks up ideas when they're drunk is that they think it's like the smartest thing that has ever been thought of in the world, because in your drunk mind, you think you're a genius. Unfortunately, I suspect this is also what this man thought. Now, before you show the mugshot, let me explain it. Police in Belfast, Maine say they found 27-year-old Brian Fogg in his car stuck in a ditch.
Oh,
First bad sign. And then they tried to test him for his blood alcohol level, so he thought, you know what I'm going to do? To skew the results of this test, I'm going to punch myself clean in the face.
Oh
so
my
he did,
gosh.
causing himself to bleed. So
can I see the picture now?
police had to tend to his injuries instead of giving him the test, but then had to later charge him with operating under the influence and falsify. This was a good one, falsifying physical evidence. 'Cause he punched
Himself?
Yeah, can you show the mugshot? Because
Do
that
we
was
have
my
that?
favorite part. What? It was a really. That looks like that might have happened more than once.
What?
Because that's like two different black
How do
eyes.
you punch yourself?
How do you punch yourself hard enough? Wouldn't you like instinctively
Well,
hold the
I
punch?
never
before
found the need to punch
Oh,
myself.
God bless him. Look at that face.
I've been punched, but not
That is the face of a man
self-inflicted.
who thought that his brain had expanded when he was drunk.
Well, he was in a ditch.
That's not a good first
It's
sign.
not a good first sign.
Oh, God bless you.
Bless you.
That's so fun. Falsifying physical evidence.
I know.
That's really clever.
How
in a really
smart.
sad, awful way.
And how educated are the states? And this is going to make me cry. I got to tell you, this is going to make me cry.
Why is it going to make you cry?
Well, go ahead. These are the most educated schools.
This
you want
is-
to start with the least.
Yeah, Wallet Hub study, and it's interesting. It basically did a data share with all of the adults that are 25 plus that had a high school diploma.
I'm gonna cry.
Average university. Okay, I'm not sure why, but here's what they found out. First of all, for the worst, it's always the South.
This is why I'm gonna cry.
The top 10 are always the South: Mississippi, West Virginia, Louisiana,
Who's
Arkansas.
the lowest? Who is the lowest?
Mississippi.
That's why I'm crying. Mississippi. They get no respect.
They really don't, and they're such a lovely state.
It really is.
Mississippi, but yeah, all the bottom 10 are the southern states.
Where's Utah? Not on the top 10.
Once again, though, this is where we are rather awesome. Number 1 was Massachusetts. I'm from Boston. I'm so special. I'm from Lexington. Let me tell you about our country's history. My name's Todd. Maryland was number 2.
What the hell? What was that?
Connecticut number 3.
Oh, my name is Todd.
Vermont number 4. And so, yeah, so basically the Northeast was the best educated. Utah came in at 11th place.
Nice.
So we've been doing really well this week. We were number 1 for like business growth and development and being well managed, and now we are number 11 for best educated.
Well, how would I know that? I'm Todd. I'm from Lexington,
Let me
Massachusetts.
tell you about our country's history.
Are you holding a grudge about?
We had on our street. We have the world's best neighbors, and we always had a dorky little 4th of July parade with the kids, and then somebody of some note, I'm not sure why they thought that would be us, would stand up and they would talk about our country's history or something inspiring,
Right.
and everyone would have a big picnic, and we'd all talk together. And one year they used us, and Todd did a quiz on,
Revolutionary War.
and then so all the kids were
4th
raising their
of
hands.
July.
Hoping for the candy, you
Right.
know, as the winners, and then Todd would harshly correct them and,
Yeah.
and take the candy.
What are you, stupid? John Hancock had the biggest signature. Go to the back of the crowd.
They were like 6.
They had me do the quiz because the year before I was pushing kids down to answer. It's just something I did. I feel bad. I feel bad for Mississippi.
Now, Harriman High School has something interesting that's happening right now.
You were saying something about this.
And I'm torn because, I mean, obviously I wrote for the school paper and I had the dream of the big news.
I wrote for the school paper. I'm Erin.
But it's very different now because, of course, since they have websites, kids are uploading their stories and they're doing different things. But this I thought was pretty interesting. It's Harriman High School, and they had the Telegraph, the student newspaper, and they had published an investigation about a teacher's departure from their school. And they did the investigation because the teacher had been fired from a previous high school for the same reason, and then from theirs. Now, they had actually done 2 requests for public records. I mean, filed them just the way the big-time newspapers did.
Right.
They got information. They actually even had an attorney look it over to make sure that they weren't libeling or there was no slander.
Right.
And then they published the story, and it was
Right.
basically about the teacher who had been fired, and they had found inappropriate texts of a sexual nature between him and a student. And so the kid who's writing the story was saying that he got fired before from a school,
Doing the
apparently
same
for
thing.
the same thing. So why is this guy still allowed to teach? So it was actually, I actually had a chance to read it, and I thought it was a well thought out
Was it done well?
story. He did
Okay.
a really good job with it. He went
Right.
through the right channels. It was pulled down immediately from the district. And it was 2 different articles that disappeared, and then the website suddenly said, we're down for maintenance, and they knocked the entire thing off the air, I guess maybe to make sure they could block access.
All right.
So the students are basically saying this is censorship. You
Right.
didn't have the right to do that because we had done all the right things. Everything that we have learned in school, we went through the correct steps, and they did based on all my understanding of my years of journalism. But it was pulled anyway.
So
It's interesting.
Do you when I think we had a newspaper, didn't read it, but it was more like, hey, why don't we have pizza on Thursdays?
Well, if you read this one, I was actually kind of humbled because it's much better than the stuff we used.
I mean, that's pretty hardcore investigating.
Yeah,
work
for like
kind
a
of stuff.
16, 17-year-old kid.
Yeah.
I thought so. The thing that's pretty funny, though, is that the district did one of the best dissembling statements I've ever heard. They go, it's the responsibility of the students and school advisors and administrators to have every story meet high expectations of thought-provoking, informative, and accurate reporting. Again, we encourage students to participate in responsible journalism, sharing informative stories as part of their
Responsible.
educational experience.
Right.
Never really actually addressing the fact that they pulled the story.
No,
So it's just-
never actually.
we're for the kids.
It's-
We're not going to really explain anything else, but
Right.
we're for them. I just thought it was funny. I
Well,
mean,
then why are you hiring people with bad records?
it's interesting.
That's my thought.
That's a good.
That is the
Thank
point.
you for the kickback.
That's the point.
exactly.
The point is that someone is behaving, which every parent would hate, in that kind of way, and you hired them. This is like hiring someone with 4 DUIs to drive a truck with your trucking company.
And it's interesting too because there's been a lot of criticism of the kids, and they've been all snotty teenagers. Sure, how dare they? And what do they think they're doing? And they're just being, they're just libeling. And it's like, no,
But they got-
actually went through grab a request to get public records.
Right.
He even had it reviewed by an attorney.
Lawyer, right.
How many 17-year-olds do you know who go and get something proofread by an attorney? So, by all standards of responsible journalism, this kid did the right thing, and he's getting just nailed with a ton of criticism. And I don't know.
I can't. Who's criticizing him?
A lot of people on Facebook, a
I
lot
can't
of social
believe.
media.
I can't believe he doesn't have a
Our-
huge following of positive.
Our friend
people.
Debbie, who we over at KSL, who we like, just tore into him last night,
Really,
and I was like, "Wow."
Debbie.
Yeah, I was surprised because
Is there a part missing to the story then? This is when I usually remember.
her
we
main
always
thing
say
is how
this.
dare you get a chance to upload your own post to the newspaper website. And she said, I've never been able to do that. I'm like, I've always been able to directly upload to all of our station websites.
Interesting.
But yeah, so that was her key thing. Is I guess an adult should have filtered it first. But I thought if the kids are doing responsible journalism, why can't they? So anyway, it was just an interesting one, but it's
Interesting.
turning into this thing now where it's starting to get national and international attention, and surprisingly, nationally, it's running in support of the kid versus
I would think
the
so.
district.
I would think so.
And I think we've all seen stupid things. If it's based on gossip or innuendo, then it's like, yeah, you don't
Oh,
get
yeah.
to you don't get to smear
Well,
someone's reputation for that.
But don't the newspapers, the school newspapers, have an adult overseeing the whole thing?
And he didn't go through the adults, so I guess that was some of the key points.
Right.
But the advisor had always let them post
Right.
their own stories before.
Right.
So
He'd get a job here at Gephardt.
this is yes, he could, my
talk to
son.
Patrick.
Why don't you contact us? That would
Yeah.
be very nice. Okay, coming up.
Let me see her hair again. Turn this way. It's flat right there.
Coming up, there is wonderful hope that Chris Hemsworth, who is Thor and probably the most beautiful specimen in the entire universe,
Has run out of clothes.
No, sadly, he still has some of those. But anyway, he might be bringing an old movie franchise back. We'll tell you about it next. The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by Fink & McGregor, Mortgages Made Simple. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, you'll find out that you can get a mortgage with a credit score as low as 600. Fink & McGregor, also by The Vein Clinic. If you go to theveinclinic.com, you can schedule an appointment and find out some amazing options for pain-free removal of varicose veins and spider veins. Your legs can look great again with The Vein Clinic. And also by Black Diamond Experts. They're experts in electric, plumbing, heating, and air. They also have a brand new store up in Ogden now. If you'd like to reach them, you can go to blackdiamondexperts.com.
Did you know you can buy a house with a 600 credit score?
Really?
We have lenders, we have programs, stuff that's come up in the last couple years. 600.
Wouldn't you have to have like 50% down or something though?
Nope. 3.5%.
Where would you start the process on this?
Well, Fink & McGregor has a website, 4minutemortgage.com. Just go there, fill it out, up and running.
How long until you get back to us?
1 business day. Whole thing takes about a month, start to finish.
Where do you get the down though if you're broke?
It can be a gift from family, relative, significant other, even your work.
Gift, huh?
Yeah.
You know what that makes me wish?
What?
Makes me wish I had friends with money.
All right, welcome back to the Todd and Erin Morning Stream, GephartDaily.com.
Hollywood Connection brought to you by Connect Heating and Air. Because it's Hollywood Connection and it's... Okay, anyway, you can find them at Utah Heating and Cooling. They service residential as well as commercial properties. Chris Hemsworth, this is really fun and I have great hopes. He was in a clip, a teaser clip that they're going to be showing during the Super Bowl with Danny McBride, who's that comedian with the crazy curly hair who's in everything, very funny. Danny McBride is going to be the son of Crocodile Dundee, and then I guess Chris Hemsworth is the mysterious the mysterious guy who comes in and starts guiding him around the outback because he's Australian and they do that. Can we take a look at the clip because it's really cute?
Yo, where them kangaroos at?
Brian Dundee?
Yep.
Okay, so this is a movie.
That's what they're saying. It's a reboot of the franchise.
But what's
Which
the
I
other
thought was
rumor?
awesome. Daisy, will you grab Daisy?
Daisy.
So I'm getting all excited because I'm thinking, Chris Hemsworth, this
Daisy,
is totally
come on.
awesome. And frankly, I was hoping he would be the son of Crocodile
Wait a
Dundee.
minute, wait a minute.
But instead,
You know what time it is?
we get Danny
Time
McBride.
for Daisy to jog into the room.
Todd, I have to tell you though, that joke, the joke about the dye, right? I wasn't saying you had white hair, but the way that you worded it was something hair, where, right?
Right.
And so I was like, the hair is on your head. I wasn't saying it was white.
It's
I was
great
just saying the
hair.
location of your hair is right here.
It's
So
becoming
I wasn't
more.
being like rude.
This is like a
I was
long
just
walk.
being
Yeah, this is
facetious.
a long walk from
Yeah.
yesterday.
I'm here for you, but
Yeah.
So we correspond on Facebook via instead of calling each other.
Mm-hmm.
So so what we do is during the day it was like Daisy, back and forth. Anyway, why is she here?
Why am I
Because
here?
I was all
Oh,
excited
that's
about
right.
the
I'll
Crocodile
be back.
Dundee franchise, and Paul Hogan, who was the original Crocodile Dundee,
Yeah.
even said, "Hey, it's time to reboot it. It's been 20 years." And so I'm like totally psyched, going, "I don't care what Chris Hemsworth's in, as long as he's doing something." And you are here to burst my bubble.
Well, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I read somewhere that it's actually a Super Bowl ad. So him being Crocodile Dundee is an ad rather than a full movie. But that's just a rumor. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
Next, you're going to tell me there isn't an Easter Bunny.
No, there is an Easter Bunny and there's
Oh, okay.
certainly a Santa Claus.
Naturally, that. As long as it's got Chris Hemsworth, I'm happy.
So I'm not sure, that might not
Really?
be true, but that's what
But it was fairly like an authoritative sort of voice that had shared this information.
Yeah, and I can't remember where I saw it. One of my gossip sites that I look on. But who
I can't
knows?
help but feel bitter now.
Well,
I
maybe
was so excited.
maybe if enough people want him to be Crocodile Dundee, they will make a full-length film.
Well, sadly, they're using Danny McBride as the son of Crocodile Dundee. Chris is the Australian dude that tries to, I guess, train him in the mysterious ways of the outback.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which makes it even weirder.
Interesting.
But they do the big "that's a knife" joke, so I'm like, come on, it's got to be for real.
It's got to be for real.
Do
Yeah,
you think
maybe
it is? What you guys determine?
She's still trying to crush my hopes and dreams, but she did assure me there is an Easter Bunny, so I feel a
There-
little bit better about
So
it.
Helms, what's his?
Chris Hemsworth.
So he's the person who takes him into the outback and teaches him the ways of survival, like rubbing two women together to make a fire, stuff like that. So
That's the one.
that's the one. Good.
You did graduate in wildlife management, right? You did
Graduate,
in the
graduate,
outdoors.
schmaduate. You know, really.
All
How
right.
long ago was Crocodile Dundee now?
About 20 years at
yeah,
least,
it's
isn't
a
it?
long time ago, isn't it?
Yeah, at least 20 years.
Like mid-80s?
I had the hots for her.
She was adorable.
They married, didn't
yes.
they?
Yeah, they
Didn't
did.
They got married,
Yeah.
right?
Are they still married?
Yes, they are.
Oh.
That's cute.
So it, like, because you kept any marriage in Hollywood like by dog years. Like if you're married 1 year, that counts as like 7 years, and for a normal person,
She's
so you get
adorable.
to 20, it's just like your golden anniversary right there.
Oh, that's really
Don't you
cute.
think?
Yeah,
Just in
it's
case
true.
you want to know, here's a show note for you. This is how a conversation goes terribly amiss. All right, so here's my other question.
Yeah.
So him and his wife, didn't Australia have trouble with him when he got his eye surgery done? He
They
had
were
some,
very-
He had some work done. You know, he got lifts and stuff.
Well, they were very displeased with that because, and he was fairly unrecognizable. It's like the Kenny Rogers syndrome. You know how he got surgery and no one knew who the hell he was.
Isn't that
And it was the same kind of nip and tuck, and they're like, "You're a rugged outdoorsman. You're not supposed to need plastic surgery in your vanity." But you know, sometimes you get those soggy eyes and you start looking like a bull. I mean, you can't even see. So,
Isn't that funny that I didn't know that though, that he did that.
and they were so offended, like, "How dare you have?"
Yeah.
You're supposed to be rugged.
Yeah.
Look like your face been put out with a shovel.
But he can be rugged, but like super smooth face
Right,
at the
right.
same time.
Right. No UV damage at all in the outback.
No, oh gosh, no,
No, we
right?
didn't see it
Oh my
here.
gosh.
Sorry, I can't wrestle that alligator. I got to put on my My sunscreen.
I sob.
All right, we good?
So there you go. Yeah, all right. Thank you.
All right, I'll try and find out a
There's
little
two
bit
views.
more about it.
Maybe there's more pictures of Chris Hemsworth too. You could find.
Oh,
there could
please.
be some more of those. Yeah, let's skip the Woody Allen story because now I'm happy and I don't want to be depressed. So we're not going to talk about him.
Okay.
Instead, how about if we just go
We'll
to Daisy?
stall for a little bit.
Yeah, Daisy is in the Gephardt
We're
Daily
letting her get
Newsroom.
in there right now.
I'm doing my sponsors
All right,
super
go-
slow.
go ahead
Brought
and
to you
do
by
it really
Fink
slow.
and McGregor Mortgages Made Simple. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, you will find out you can get a mortgage with a credit score as low as 600. Also by the Vein Clinic. The Vein Clinic in Riverton. Make sure you make an appointment there. They took such good care of me. Pain-free varicose vein removal, and you see results literally within a day or two. It's amazing. No more long downtime things. Also by Black Diamond Experts. They are experts in electric, plumbing, heating, and air. You'll be glad you called an expert. BlackDiamondExpert.com. Daisy, my dear, what is going on?
Thanks, Todd and Erin. Here's what's making national and world news headlines Wednesday, January 24th on Gephardt Daily. Special counsel Robert Mueller wants to question Donald Trump about his dismissals of former FBI Director James Comey and former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. CNN says the details of how the questioning will be carried out has yet to be determined, but Trump's attorneys would like his answers to be in written form only. The Washington Post first reported on Mueller's interest in questioning Trump on Tuesday. The Post says the special counsel is seeking to ask Trump about the decisions that led to ousting Flynn as National Security Advisor in February and Comey as FBI Director in May. North Korea appears to be preparing for a massive military parade prior to the Winter Olympics. The Voice of America reported Wednesday that satellite images showed large-scale movements near the Pyongyang airport. The images show hundreds of vehicles parked on the side of a public square, with 13,000 soldiers moving around in unison. Military experts say the parade is designed to commemorate the founding of North Korea's military. And Naomi Parker Fraley, a cultural icon recognized as the inspiration for the famous World War II era Rosie the Riveter poster, died this weekend, aged 96. Fraley died while in hospice care in Longview, Washington, according to her family. The Rosie the Riveter photo she inspired was snapped when Fraley was a factory worker at California's Alameda Naval Station. She was one of the millions of women who filled the workforce during World War II. And now time for another look at your Wasatch Front weather, brought to you by Brio Technologies, Utah's premier audiovisual specialists. After 2 days of blue skies and sunshine, we've got another winter storm knocking on our door. The storm front is expected to arrive Thursday and linger into the weekend. Most of the snow will land in the higher elevations, although the valleys can expect a dusting here and there. Daytime temps will be in the low 40s and upper 30s, nighttime lows in the 20s and 30s. That's it for now. For more news from across the nation and around the world, go to GephartDaily.com. Todd and Erin, back to you.
Thank you, my dear Daisy. Black Diamond Experts, I really like this because they're the people that you call when there's a really big, annoying, awful problem. And maybe the fact that like something suddenly sizzled in the middle of your walls and all your lights went out. That's a bad thing. I just heard a story from one of the guys that they had an electrical fire. And the woman was like torn and she called them first and they said, "Did you call the fire department?" She goes, "No, because I know you guys fix this stuff." And they went, "Call the fire department first and then we'll come over." And so they had someone in the truck and on his way down, but then he's like, "Please tell me you called the fire department." But the thing that's kind of nice about that is that's the kind of faith that people have in Black Diamond, that they would be the first people they call. And once again, they would like to reinforce, no, call the fire department first. But they did come in, they did fix the electrical problem, and then the family was safe again in their home. But if this is what you're looking for and you need someone who can basically do anything in your house, they can swap stuff out, they can repair it, they can replace it, these would be your guys. Now, they have a new place up in Ogden as well now, so it's even easier for you up there. All you have to do is just go to blackdiamondexpert.com.
All right, I now take you to Elizabeth City, the police department there. This is in North Carolina.
Okay.
People fall. Oh, there's the bacon can. People,
that looks delicious.
now I can't talk.
That's not right. Now I can't concentrate.
Oh, good, I'm back. Okay. Now it's back to Happy Town.
Oh, and there's sausages. What are those other things? Are those pork chops?
The worst thing is we can
Oh, that's
smell
chicken?
it. Steak.
It's steak.
Steak.
I love it when Patrick comes in early.
I know, right?
'Cause we always get the best breakfast.
Right?
Yay, Patrick!
Nice job.
All right, go back to this
All
guy.
right, North Carolina. People, it's hard to watch people with commanding power, people with reputation that they've earned when they fall from grace.
Oh, it is worse, yeah. Because you're
Just-
like, but you were a role model. You were an idol. So was this like a
Right.
local politician or a peace officer?
No, bigger than that.
Really?
Yeah, this gentleman, he's 27 years old, Bradley
Mm-hmm.
Hardson. He was the donut eating champion of North Carolina.
The donut eating champion of North Carolina.
I mean, women probably swooned at him
I can only begin
because
to
he
imagine.
held the power, being the champion of eating donuts. Unfortunately, he has fallen off
His pedestals?
that
How did this terrible thing happen? This donut...
illegal activity. Illegal activity. And I know you might say, oh, it must have to do with pot. That's what made him hungry. That's how he ate so many donuts.
That would be a really good technique.
That's not it. Breaking and entering. Breaking and entering.
Wow.
Right?
That's not good. So what, he was like robbing a bank or something? Or he was stealing like computers? What was
Dunkin' Donuts.
You're lying to me right now.
He broke into a Dunkin' Donuts.
Dude, you're totally lying to me.
No, Dunkin' Donuts.
He broke into a Dunkin' Donuts?
Which he is the champion. Who could do more damage than this man right here? Who could do more damage than the donut champion eating dude?
I
No
can't
one.
help but think that being the donut eating champion of North Carolina,
Yeah.
he could have just walked in there, flashed his badge that says donut eating champion.
Right?
Or was it just like 2 a.m. and he had the
2
munchies and he just couldn't take it anymore?
2 a.m, and he was just hungry, and he went to his favorite go-to food.
He broke into a Dunkin' Donuts
Right.
for the donuts.
Right, well, if he had planned it out, he would have eaten all the rest of the donuts and there'd be no evidence.
That's right.
So,
You know, the sad part is really, dude, if you're going to do this, break in and steal something valuable because it's pretty much still the same prison sentence. So good for you. And he was actually surprisingly svelte for a donut
was.
eater. I would expect there to be more of a prodigious sort of punch.
big.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Hey, coming up next, there's 3 things that people who work at Disneyland cannot say.
Ever on pain of death.
We'll find out what it is next.
The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by Fink and McGregor. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, there's a short 4-minute quiz, and at the end of it, you can find a whole array of mortgage options, and someone will call you back from Fink and McGregor within the next business day. Also by Utah Credit Approval. Go to utahcreditapproval.com because they know that bad things happen to good people, but that shouldn't stop you from repairing your credit and getting a reliable automobile at utahcreditapproval.com. And also all Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. John has 24/7 service because he knows that emergencies can happen any time of the day or night. And right now they have a $69 special to check out all your heating systems to make sure they're working well. Just go to allutahplumbing.com.
Welcome back to the Todd and Erin Morning Stream on GetPartDaily.com. This is a conversation that I've wanted to have since I read this story. And this is something, this is one of those stories you go, did you hear about this so-and-so? And then all of a sudden, everyone wants to jump in because it's that interesting a story.
Everyone's weirded
India?
out.
This happened in India?
It's like the plot of a Bollywood film, I swear to God. It's 2 babies from very different backgrounds. They were
Right.
born 5 minutes apart in Assam. Now,
In where?
Assam. Now,
In India.
uh-huh.
Okay.
And it's interesting because our friend Scott Kingsbury, who used to live there, told us a lot about this. In order to have children in the hospital, you are required to give fairly elaborate gifts to the nurses and the doctors.
Right.
It is part of the expectation.
Sure.
And so in return, you would think you would get very attentive care, that there would be excellent safeguards in place. I know here when we had the twins, there was like, and with Zoe, you're stamped. I mean, you've got wristbands. Everyone's got wristbands.
No one
Kids
can
got wristbands. Everyone, yeah.
No one carries a baby.
No one carries a baby down the hallway.
That's how they know. Unless the baby is in a bassinet and wheeling, anybody who's carrying a baby is stopped.
Well, this is
That's
so
the way it is.
interesting. So basically, what had happened with these 2 families from very different backgrounds is they were switched at birth. And it was incredible.
When you say backgrounds, what do you mean?
Well, Salma Parvin said...
Economic or?
Yeah, exactly. Salma Parvin was one of the moms, and she said, when I first saw my baby's face, I kind of had some doubts. I could make up from his eyes. He has small eyes. And
What?
that's really different from the rest of my family.
Okay.
So she kind of always suspected that there might be something there.
How long ago was this?
But this is what's so interesting. The families went through this, and they wanted to know. They needed to know. They thought the kids deserved to know. It was a 9-year DNA battle. The hospital blocked it, like all the way down the line.
Right.
It took them 9 years to finally find out that, yeah, these two kids had been switched at
So
birth.
oh my gosh.
Now-
how old are the kids now?
9 years old. But here's the weird thing. There is actually jurisprudence in India that should such a thing happen, the children should be returned immediately to the biological family.
Which you right off the top you go, oh yeah, that's the right thing to do.
Not at 9 years old.
Not at 9 years old.
and
This
here's-
is where the conversation
And here's
starts.
what's so interesting is because you would think that the parents would go, I'm autocratic, I will tell you what we're going to do. But basically they asked the children, what do you want to do? And they said, of course we want to stay up. You're my parents, of course. And it goes back to everything. Know that bond is not necessarily through blood as
Right.
much as who you are to each other. And so... And the parents were like, good, because we couldn't have given you back anyway. But what they did do, and they agreed that will be in the best interest of these children. And this just came out today. As I said, we're going to try to do visits. We're going to make regular weekly
Right.
visits so that they can get to know each other.
Right.
And the way they said it was really beautiful. They said, we feel like we're all family now because we've shared this blood and this bond between all of
Yeah.
us. And I think for a lot of people, it's hard because going back to from past your feelings to what is in the best interest of the child is very difficult. I mean, with Zoe...
Right.
being adopted, there's sometimes I get a really weird possessive vibe, and we have an open adoption and the most amazing birth mother ever, but you get those weird
Yeah.
possessive things, and you have to think, okay, once again, what is in the best interests of the kids?
Yeah.
I mean, my sister Julie adopted Maddie, and she still takes him to see his birth mother, and I talked to her about it, and she goes, you go there, you be the mom, but this is what is important for him, not what's
I
important
think it's
for me.
interesting because the kids,
And it can be hard to do, I think.
you know, as soon as you say, well, you know, they switched your birth and they found out, and the first thing you go is, oh, well, they need to go back, and then you
Just
start.
even all this up again.
Now you start thinking about it, and you go, no, they shouldn't go back, and leaving it up to the kids. I mean, it would be torture to drag them into a new home,
There's no way. Not
and there's no.
At 9 years old,
Right.
this is a bond. This is your parent. This has nothing to do with your blood anymore. It's not about DNA. It's about
Right.
who you are.
Interesting
at
thing.
a soul level, I guess.
I do have to admit, if I was one of the kids, I'd want to peek at the other person's house just to see if it was nicer.
Is it better than mine?
I know, I'm going to go to hell.
I just
know.
thought that's just such an extraordinary story to me, though, and how dogged the parents were, because basically they said they had the right to know, meaning not the parents as much as the children.
But it's funny that they spent 9 years doing this to prove themselves right, and when they did, they didn't want to do a thing about it.
yeah, it's
That's
fun.
awesome.
But it is.
See, we
true.
were right.
But you know what? If you think about it, it still goes back to what is in the best interest of the children.
Right.
Do they have the right to know where they came from?
It's still your baby in laying on your chest in the hospital.
Oh.
It's still your baby right there, you know, and it's taking the baby home and first grade and, you know, all those steps, and it's still your baby. It is your baby.
in
It's
every
just-
possible way, down to
Right.
the cellular level.
Right.
But it is, I can't imagine,
It's interesting.
because there was actual jurisprudence, there was actually law
Right.
that had been in place before. In similar cases, I guess there had been some.
Oh my gosh.
Was it? I don't know.
It is.
I can't
it is.
imagine going back, but it would be interesting because I have seen arguments from some people who said they should have.
Let's talk about the happiest place on earth.
This is so funny. Do you know that there's 3 words?
Disneyland.
There's 3 words no Disney employee can ever say on like pain of death, or at least be stuck on the ride in It's a Small World for like 6 hours.
So 3 words?
3 words.
Like pull my finger?
Under any circumstances are you allowed to say,
Right.
I don't know? They said that the simple admission of...
I don't know what that means. Why?
If somebody comes up to you and says, where's the churro stand? You're not
Right.
allowed to say, I don't know. Someone comes up and goes, hey, did you know that Snow White in 1942 did this? And right? And you're not allowed to say, I don't know.
What should you say? Where's the churro stand?
I'm not sure if you have to start making stuff up or
No,
not.
you take them to it. You find someone who knows the answer.
He says, if you don't know it, you find out, but you
Right.
don't say you don't know. And if
I
they say if it's a
don't.
silly question, you make up a silly answer. But they say that those are the 3 words that they have discovered instantly destroy the magic, because everything you do when you go into a place like Disneyland or any of their
Right.
parks is the imagination starts right there, and you feel like you're somewhere else. And they say that to do that breaks the illusion.
What's the boy's name on Toy Story? The human boy. Do you know his name?
I can barely remember Buzz and Woody. I don't know. Do you mean the mean one?
No, the good one.
Steve.
Let me find out. I need this. Hang on.
Okay.
What's the boy's name in Toy Story, the character? You know? Remember? Toy Story, the boy?
We could go back to the bacon can. That would be delicious. Or I could just look this up while we're waiting for him, because you know it's going to be this way anyway. What's
All right, hang on.
name?
Look it up. There's a
boy
payoff for
in-
this. There's a
Okay,
payoff for
'cause
this.
They're walking through this with us now.
Yeah,
right?
you're
So
staying with
thank
us.
you. We're sorry
See?
for that.
All right, we're working it.
List of
So
Toy
there's
Story-
Buzz and there's Woody.
Jesse. Isn't it Jesse?
No.
No. Let me
That's the
keep going.
girlfriend, I think.
Come
I know
on.
you're all screaming at your phones right now.
I'm so
doing this.
Do you want to check? Why don't you check email? Because I'm pretty sure that somebody will do it.
Andy. All right. Thank you, Heather.
Andy. Okay.
Andy.
Thank you, Heather.
Next time you're at Disneyland, let's see if this pays off for that whole unorganized mess I just created. Next time you're at Disneyland
Yeah.
and you see Woody and Buzz, or Woody and his girlfriend, okay? Yell out the word, "Here comes Andy!" And everyone flops to the ground. The characters do.
Seriously?
The characters flop
Oh,
to the
that's
ground.
hysterical.
You're welcome. See?
No
It's worth
way.
it. Yeah, it's
And you
really
know,
funny.
and you know, they're just like by the 15th one that day, they're like, "Why did they agree to this?
Why did they do this?
I got grass stains on
So
my
if you
pants."
haven't, Toy Story is when a human shows up, they just flop like dolls, and that's what they do. I
That's
think it's
really
hilarious.
funny.
Yeah,
It would get old as one of the characters.
you couldn't get off the ground because the kids are Andy, Andy, Andy.
You know, it's really funny too, because we've had friends who were one of our old nannies. Do you remember how gorgeous she was? And she was.
No, I don't.
It was Jess. Don't you remember? She's tall and beautiful, and she played. It was
I mean, the person who cared for my children.
Jess, and she.
You don't ask the husband if this person is gorgeous.
Because she's like a
Takes
daughter
care
to
of.
you. I
She's
know.
like a daughter to me.
But she was one of the female characters, and they have handlers that walk around with them.
Right.
And the first time she put on the costume, and this was down in the Florida one, so it's very hot. It's this insanely heavy padded princess costume, and she's like, "Are you trying to tell me something about my bust line or something?"
Right.
And they went, "No, trust me, And it's a huge issue. That's why they have somebody walking
Handlers.
around with them all the
Right.
time. Well, actually, they're trying to get rid of the handlers.
Somebody walk up and
says-
get
Isn't that weird?
Goosed by Goofy.
Why would you do that? Why
Right.
would you? Why would you grab a cartoon character? That's creepy. Although you did have a crush on Ariel last time we went, so it was the tail, wasn't
But
it?
it was wholesome.
Well, at least you
wholesome
didn't
thing.
try to pick her up and carry her away, because that happened to Jessica like 8 times.
There's just a whole creep factor
People
going on
really
now.
invest in this mascot. I mean, in the
So just
characters
remember,
thing.
just yell Andy. Okay, there you
That's
go.
a good into the story.
This was heard this yesterday. Diagnosed Neil Diamond,
Yeah.
Parkinson's disease.
He's on his 50th anniversary tour.
and
He's
they've canceled.
days
one.
shy of his 77th birthday. He just said
Right.
he had to cancel his tour dates in Australia and New Zealand.
Right.
He said that he was just diagnosed with Parkinson's.
Right.
And he said it was with great reluctance and disappointment that he made the announcement.
Right.
And he says, and I'm my sincerest apologies to everyone who purchased tickets and were planning to come to the shows.
Right.
And it was very sweet. I mean, he spent more of the time being concerned that people would be let down than he was about the fact that he received a fairly severe diagnosis.
It is, and I find it interesting. Neil Diamond is one of those people. He doesn't need to tour.
I want
You
to
know,
party with you, Neil.
There's a.
I want to party with you.
There's a difference between 80s bands that are sticking it back together and they have the original tambourine guy and they put their act back together and they tour around. They go to Wendover and
band
places
back
like that
together.
and they do it because they didn't make money in the 80s. They didn't or they spent it.
All
or,
the record labels made the money in the 80s.
yeah,
Trust me.
and so then there are people like him, people like Bon Jovi, people like Bono,
Bruce
people
Springsteen,
like
yeah.
Bruce Springsteen,
That just have that genuine love.
who
Yeah.
just really dig it and have a good time. And if you've ever gone to a concert with Bon Jovi or with Neil Diamond, they don't really have to sing their own songs. because the audience sings them.
It's very funny.
And he comes down, he'll sing a line, and the audience takes it, and he comes back, and it's crazy. Bon Jovi is the same thing. They can just, Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks would take a guitar, an acoustic guitar, put a mic on it, sit on the edge of the stage of a stadium, and sit there and just hit the first couple chords and sing the first line, and then he'd just point to the audience, and they would sing the rest of the song, which I think is awesome.
It's pretty cool, though. He says
Neil Diamond is one of those people.
He says, this is not going to stop me from my music. He said, that is the most important thing. So he's still planning to write and record, and he's also talking about opening a studio where he's going to bring in young talent and try to mentor them, which I thought was amazing for somebody who's dealing with a huge diagnosis, and he's already thinking about, what do I want to do with the rest of my life?
Because he's obviously not someone who likes to sit around.
No, I don't think so.
So anyway.
I'm very sorry for that, but he's amazing. He's getting the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Grammys coming up this month.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be emotional.
I know, right?
Oh geez.
Thanks. I'm not performing anymore, but thanks.
One of the things we like to thank is Skippy.
Sundance Skippy.
Sundance Skippy.
By the way, if you want to go and look at all of his videos, and he has some great ones, just go to I Am Skippy on Facebook. You can also find him on Instagram and Twitter. He's our excitable ginger, and he's so adorable.
He's a 39-year-old virgin.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of responsibility, but he does. So he's been up there. He's reporting. We got some more reports coming in tomorrow about today's activities up in Sundance. So we're just going to leave you with some of his video, right?
Because he's adorable, and they're starting to love him now.
He'll grow on you, trust me. You guys have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow morning, right here on the Todd and Erin Morning Stream on GetParkDaily.com.
Sundance Skippy, the real 40-year-old virgin here. Hi. Hi. You're the best. Thank you. That's so cool. My man. You just made my day. You're about to explode right now. Woo. Nick, can you look at... Nick, I've got a fun question for you. Which of your characters from Face Off, who would win in a fight between your characters from Face Off or your The Rock? Of course. Thank you. Thank you. It's nice to meet you, Nick.